Okay, if I'm not mistaken, it's exactly 1 o'clock, and this is a surprise location of our today's live video. Yesterday we were in Ljubljana Old Town, and today it is Saturday and it's 1 o'clock, which means that it's in the middle of the day in Europe, Central Europe time. I'm from Slovenia, and I had decided to take a day off, which is unusual in a self-employed kind of lifestyle, and I had decided to finally travel out of Ljubljana. I'll tell you a bit more about it later, but I would really like you to see where we are today, because I on purpose haven't announced the location, because I really wanted you to see it the way I see it. It's not that I'm here for the first time. In the summertime or in the time of tourism, I would come here every week, but still I haven't been here in months. Actually, this is my first tour in the times of Corona, so it's really special. I'll tell you about the preparations later, but I want to show you what I see in front of me. Ta-da! There! Oh, I love this view. I'm sure that all Slovenians watching now will know exactly where I am. All of those of you who are not from Slovenia or have never visited Slovenia will not know, but you will see it today and get to know it. You can see both. You can see my best part there. You can see the castle, and let me show you another thing. Down there, in the distance, you can see an island with a church, and those are actually the two most important symbols, actually three, of Lake Bled, where we are today. Let me show you another nice perspective. We'll just pass by here. There's quite a lot of people here today. Hello. And it's quite a nice day, I have to say. Look now, you have the beautiful view of the island with the little church there. Let me try to zoom in. We'll be walking past it, so you'll see it better. There. What do you think about that? Was that worth of coming on this Saturday midday morning, maybe even evening if you're far east? That is a little church. We will see it later also on the island. And if we move on the surface of the lake toward the right hand side, there you can see some villas, and 100 meters up there on the cliff is the oldest mentioned castle of Slovenia, the castle of Bled, B-L-E-D, spelled like this, Bled. I also like this villa from the 19th century to the right hand side. So those are the two symbols, and the third one is down here. There, it's a rowing boat made of wood. There's some visitors from Ljubljana and from Slovenia here. It's quite busy today in Bled, and in the season time it would be really hard to find any boat here. But now, since there's the Corona lockdown, of course they are all in the pier and not operating for the time being. Anyway, today we will do a walk. We won't walk that much, but for about 20 minutes for sure. We are gonna go on the path on the side of the lake. That one on the left hand side there, under the trees. There's a beautiful park there, and it's not a coincidence that the park is there, because it's a park of a very famous villa of Bled called Villa Bled. Okay, so if you're ready and you're tucked in, nice and warm at home, with a cup of tea as always, let's start the walk. Oh, I see some tourists there. Tourists are coming. The hope is coming for all of us. And the spring is coming too. Yesterday in Ljubljana it was quite warm. Today in Bled Lake the temperature is around 9 degrees centigrade, which is about 48 Fahrenheit if I'm not mistaken. It is quite warm on the sun, as much as we have the sun coming out of the clouds slowly. But it's still a bit chilly, because we are in the region of Slovenia where the Alps are not far away. Actually, the Alps are all around. Let's see if we can see some of them. You can't see very well, but they're somewhere in the distance, left to the left-hand side. You see there. You can see some summits, and maybe, but just maybe, I'm not promising, because you know how it is with the weather. You never know. We'll be able to see it. Some of the mountains later behind the castle there. Oh, I also see a boat. It's the first one today. I've been here for 2 hours now. Coming in, rowing there. This is a world famous rowing center. They prepare a track which goes all across the lake when there's a tournament, a competition. But that's not now. Sometimes during this time of the year even, but it's a bit late, maybe a month earlier, Lake Bled could have been frozen. It hasn't happened for years now. It needs to be really cold for a very long time. But when it is, and then at those times in the winter, December, January is the winter time in Slovenia, at that times the lake freezes over. Imagine this. You can actually walk on the water like Jesus was walking, they say. So maybe he came to Bled and he was walking here on the frozen waters. So it's easy at that times. You can actually walk from this very starting point all the way until Bled Island. Can you imagine that? Well, I can. I used to walk here a lot. We used to ice skate in the winter times when we were smaller. Oh my God, there's a plate now on the lake. Corona is defeated. We won. Tourism is back. This is actually the first Pletna. Oh my God. You know, the Pletna boat is such a very interesting thing. Oh, I love the view now. Just take a look at it. You have the famous castle there and the Pletna lake. You can see there's one man rowing only, and that's a rule. Of course, in Slovenia it would be really easy to find an engine and install a machine, so you could go easier, faster, with less fuss. But there's an old rule on the lake, still observed, that says that this is a part of a protected national environment, and so it is not allowed to use any engines on the lake itself. So all the traffic, there's quite a lot. I can see another boat there. I mean, quite a lot. Imagine this is now February, it's still winter time. All traffic has to be done by a man force. It's usually men rowing. Actually, the Pletna boat has a different tradition. It's a very ancient form of transportation on the lake. Ever since at least 150 years ago, the rule is that only a man can do rowing, and only one family, one boat. But what I wanted to tell you today, we are not having a guided tour. This is a walk. There's a short tradition, I can say now, on my YouTube, not YouTube also, but on Facebook live, where I'm taking you for walks to get, to get the actually my idea was to get the images of Slovenia and Ljubljana out in the world, and allow other people who are now sitting at home and can't travel to enjoy in countries that maybe they've never been to. So the main idea today is the walk and the view and the lake Bled, B-L-E-D in Slovenian, not a guided tour. Even though a lot of you were commenting, and I love your comments. Thank you so much for sharing, commenting, liking, unliking, whatever feedback you're giving. It's much appreciated. So the idea, even though the comments were coming in mentioning the guided tour, this is not a guided tour. A guided tour is another thing. This is a walk, which means that I'm taking you to most beautiful places, and I'm not guiding this time because it's also my holiday. Well, it's Saturday. So guiding, apart from a walk, is a tour where we give a background, historical, geographical. It sounds really boring, I know, but it's not boring on the tour. The fact is just that we explain all these things, you know, the history of Bled when you're here, or we explain the geography, the region itself. I show you some photographs of the old Bled or Lake Bled in different times of the year. I also show you a Bled monster. And if you ask anyone here, they will tell you there's no Bled monster. But that's what they always say, you know. Even in Loch Ness you find people who say there's no Loch Ness monster, no Nessie in Scotland. But we all know that there is a life on the other side, right? There are also people who claim that there are no leprechauns or fairies. Well, we know better, don't we? So, if we were on a guided tour, as I'm mentioning now, we would have been talking about the monster. I would have showed you even a photograph of the Bled monster. But since we're not, you will just have to believe me and take my word for it and see that I'm an honest person and I really mean it when I say it, and I'm not just making it up. So you can see some of the park here. It is still winter time. Oh, look, I love this. I just love these lamps. Aren't they adorable? We'll see some more of them. But you can see a park and a fence. And the back, that's where we're coming from, there. And that's one of the things, you know, about Lake Bled, is the fact that it's so beautiful, naturally beautiful. Oh, I need to show you now, the sun is coming out. So I really want you to see the other side. How do I do that now? Oh, okay. There. It's a really nice perspective of the castle. So the thing I'm saying now, you can see it. And the nature's beautiful. It's pristine. It's even quiet now, which is so rare to come to Lake Bled, and it's quiet. And there's no big tourist buses because there's just no big tours coming at the moment. But the thing, in Slovenia, we are very proud of this beautiful nature, right? More than 50% of Slovenia. You see, this is already guiding. I just can't help it, but I just want to tell you things. So more than half of our land is forested, which means that we have these beautiful old pristine forests. And Slovenians usually prefer going out, really going out to the nature, walking in the mountains. They adore outside sports, and Slovenians are all about nature. So when we have some free time, usually this is during weekends, Saturday and Sunday, and especially Ljubljana people, because we want to escape the city, we would mostly come somewhere quiet and green and natural. And Lake Bled is only 45 minutes drive by car on the highway from Ljubljana city center, so it's really close. And this is why a lot of Slovenians, especially Ljubljana people, like to come here for the weekends. But there are two lakes very close by, and both of them in the same region. The other lake is actually in the same valley, even just about half an hour drive more up to the north. I'm looking around a lot because there's a lot of people passing by, and you know, they're looking at the camera, and I really want to see what kind of people are out and how they behave. I'm a sociologist by education, and I want to see the human pattern, especially after this long lockdown. I want to show you also what I see in front of me now. The view of the lake, of the island. Let me show you a zoom. My phone is a bit slow on live. There, I love this view. Let's take a look here. Well, you can see from here actually. That is a zoom from here. If we would have taken a boat, the one we saw before, right? We would probably have needed a night around let's say 10 minutes to reach the island, and then you would still have to walk up those stairs you see there. These are a staircase leading up on the top of the island. There's 99 stairs when you come for a tour, I'll tell you about these 99 stairs and a story also, and a tradition that takes place here on these 99 stairs. But for now, we just take a look at this beautiful old church. The church is about 500 years old and renovated many times during the history. And I love this little island. It's so tiny that you can actually walk around. There's a path going around it close to the water. And it's a really nice walk. And then you would finish the walk up on the top, visit the church if you feel like it, ring the lucky bell of Lake Bled, and if it rings for 3 times, it means you'll be lucky and your wish will be fulfilled. And then you'd probably eventually descend the stairs, take the boat back, and be all happy until the rest of your life, because your wish will come true. So the visit usually takes about 1.5 hours if you ever decide to come. The boat waits for you there and brings you back. And if it does not, well, you know, I hope you all know how to swim, because that's the only other way to come back. And sometimes in the summer we do see swimmers. And just imagine them in a swimming suit then walking around the church. It's a very interesting sight, to say the least of it. And it's so beautiful, you know. Today you can't see it well because it's still winter. But all this water is really clean, and it's green in color. It's cloudy, it's overcast today, that's why we have not a lot of colors. And also the nature is still this winter empty branches, as you can see. But there's another church on the other side, St. Martin, under the cliff. But the nature itself is adorable. It's just so beautiful. Let's just listen to birds some. How do you like the birds? And the steps of the people passing by. And there's a park here. So I was telling you about the nature, and that's the point. Look what nice lamps done by Jože Plečnik, I think, the Slovenian famous architect for this very Villa Bled. So the thing with 2 lakes is then the fact that we love nature, and the other lake, called Bohinj, is much more natural. So for the Slovenians, I think, or I might be mistaken, but my assumption is that today the Lake Bohinj is much busier than Lake Bled. Lake Bled has always been like a place of noble people with those villas and parks. Bled has always, it proved during the history to be the most beautiful, and urbanistically even, and with parks more interesting than the Lake Bohinj. But the other one's more natural, and we seem to love that. So you can see the behind of me now. I wanted to bring you here to show you the central staircase, and I'm just in the middle now to show you this very side, the stairs leading up into something, as you see. Voila. I stopped the traffic. People are so kind. Or maybe they don't want to be on a live video. But the traffic is here. Let me see this one, sorry. So the villa is called Villa Bled. You can see the sign here, Villa Bled. It has a restaurant. It also has a beautiful terrace with the view of the lake, as you can imagine, being up there over the lake. It's a very important and old, about 100 years old, diplomatic place. It used to belong to a former president of Yugoslavia, Josip Broz Tito, and before him to the royal family of Yugoslavia as well. So many times when we have important visitors coming from abroad, like kings or presidents, they would be coming, in the past, they would be coming here and doing their meetings in Villa Bled. It's beautiful, but it needs a little bit of love and care and attention and money, because it's falling apart. It is now turned into a hotel. I think it still has 4 stars, but the rooms are a bit tired, as we say. but it has a beautiful park. I love this park. I love this walk. We'll do a short while more so you can see the island from the staircase side, which I think is the most fantastic one. And then we'll conclude the walk in a nice park. We won't be going up there on the top to the castle today because I have decided to bring you here in the springtime. And then I promise one day we'll come to the castle and we'll see the view with the green forests around and the mountains of the Julian Alps. It is a part of the Alps. So the Julian Alps belong to a big, massive, stretching across the whole of Europe almost, from France in the east, in the west. I always have problems with the west and east. Until Slovenia in the east. And we do have the most spectacular part just here in this direction where you're looking at now, in the clouds. You'll have to take my word for it again. But in the clouds there, we slowly can see some blue skies. And somewhere there is also the highest mountain of Slovenia, called Mount Triglau, which is 2,864 meters high. Well, I'm guiding, am I not, again? I just can't resist it. You can see the island now, which is about 9,000 feet, is it? A bit less than 9,000 feet for those of you who are not on the metric system. So yeah, well, there are lots of legends, and now I'm walking in this beautiful path. When you will come here, if you will ever come here with a group, you won't see this part of Lake Bled probably, because when you come with a group, they will show you the castle, they will take you with a boat if you're lucky, and if you decide to go onto the island, they will also take you to try the famous Bled Kremšnita cake, which is now not open because of the corona lockdown. But this way here, most probably you will not come to, because you have to walk, and you know how big tours work. They just don't like walking, they like driving and watching through the window of the bus. That's why I decided to do this short walk on the lakeside, just so that you can see how natural it is, and hopefully we now can see, I think, yeah, the green color is coming out. This beautiful green color of the lake itself and all this nature around, and adorably so. The Lake Bled is a fantastic combination of nature, all these hills and even high mountains around, rocky mountains even, you know. Mount Triglau is made of white limestone, so it's really these fantastic Alps like one imagines them to be in Switzerland, and also these human-made additions, the architecture in the urbanism, the parks, the villas, the castle, which is from 1004. Imagine, this is 1000 years ago, even more. The castle was already here, not looking like it looks today. This is a Renaissance structure of walls down there, but still the castle was here, and we know it because it's written in the historical documents. So it's the oldest Slovenian castle that was mentioned in the history. So this is the point, if you ask me about Lake Bled, the point why we adore it so much is this nature and this man-made fantastic combination of culture and history that took place here. But there is another side to Lake Bled which people usually don't see, especially if you only visit for, let's say, one day or not even. Like most of the people only would come from Ljubljana for a day or only an afternoon. So if you come here and stay here a bit longer, you might feel, and if you're sensible, a bit sensible at least, you might feel this ancient connection to this land. You know, these forests are primeval, they are old, they are green, they're dense, especially in the springtime, in the summertime as well. These are like deep green forests. So, you know, when you have forests, you always have these ancient stories and legends, and you have all these little animals you never see, but you know that they're there. And also this area, and the mountains, the lakes, the rivers, are a perfect setting, in a place where people have always been asking themselves about, how the world was made, how the lake became to be, what is happening in this nature, how they can understand this and use this knowledge from the old myths and mythology and legends, and incorporate it into a better living and survival into this, sometimes, especially in the wintertime, rough areas. And so, what I'm saying, this place is full of stories, full of legends, full of mythological creatures. It is a nice place where you can come and just stop and pause for a while. So do try to do this if you ever come to Slovenia. Don't just rush through. Don't just go for the sites, which are fantastic and beautiful and they're icons of Slovenian tourism. But just come here and stop in the forest. Walk around the lake maybe. There's 7 kilometers walk around. We usually make it in about an hour and... Okay, I'm going down, sorry. Just this path. Down there. Yeah, we would walk around the lake. You can see that this path, the one that we're walking on now, it goes all around. At certain parts there's even asphalt, like a road for small vehicles, but most of the part is like this, so you can just take your whatever sport shoes and put them on and walk the 7 kilometers. If you have a beautiful day like today, look, the weather's clearing, it's beautiful green color coming out, the blue skies. I'm watching for Triglau, but we won't see it from here. Anyway, it's still cloudy up there. So what I'm saying, do the walk if you feel like it, or do at least a part of the walk in the nature, and try to connect to this lake. Try to understand why the people would build a church on the island. Come on, there's no bridge going there. So they had to transport everything from here onto the island to just make those staircases that you see there. No, zoom in. Nope. You see, I think my phone has a different idea of Bled. It's just there. This, I believe, it's the nice view of the staircase, and we also are so lucky to have a Plitna boat down there. So yeah, why on earth? Imagine that. Why on earth would somebody build all that structures on the island when they could just build it somewhere here with more space and much easier? What do you think? I see that you're lucky people. We have the sun on the very church. Let's see how we also have the view of the castle there. In the sun, the clouds behind it. There's also the Alps. One part of it, not the rocky white ones, but another part of it up there. No, we just can't see. But behind the clouds up there, there's more to it than meets the eye. You'll have to look with your inner eye. Can you see with your inner eye? With your inner eye, you can see one very tall mountain there behind. It's white on the summit because it's been snow still, and not white in the bottom. So we said, the legends. I always adore legends because they connect me so well to the people of the past. They show so much of how they saw the world. They teach us so much also. They also open up a sphere of life which in everyday life we just seem to pretend it's not there. It's imagination, it's the deeper connection to nature and to everything that surrounds us. And there is a legend, and before we conclude this walk, I would love to tell you this legend. It's a very short one, and please don't tell anybody, because I'm not supposed to guide you, okay? This is just the walk we said at the beginning. But this legend claims, let us zoom out. This legend speaks of this very basin where we are today. Long time ago, the old people of Bled, like to say that out here behind me there was no water, there was no lake then. So the place was beautiful, the mountains all around, and then there was this beautiful meadow in the basin among the mountains, where at night, especially on full moon, today is a full moon after all, it's a snow moon, happy full moon to everybody. So whenever there was a full moon, in the night, the fairies would come out here and dance all night on this beautiful meadow, until sometimes, or many times, one or more of them would step into into animal droppings, and then they would get furious and they would think like, why on earth do the people of the village bring their animals here to our dancing floor and just make such a mess here? We are gonna talk to them, they said. And so they did. They talked to the people of the village and all of the villages around and asked them kindly. You know, fairies usually are very kind at first. They asked them kindly and said, please, just, there is one part of this beautiful meadow where we like to dance. Please don't let your animals roam around there. Just protect our dance ballroom stage. And they come the next day, and again, the next night happens the same, and the next again the same. So the fairies, you know, as I said, they're very nice, they are nice, but you don't want to mess around with them. And so they got furious. They're like, come on, we warned these people many times, what do they think? And they taught people in the best way possible that people can be taught, with action, not with words. And so it happened that after an incident like this again, those fairies decided to flood the whole basin, and they called the rivers from the mountains. And in only one night, the lake was filled with water. All but one small part, a hill on which they used to dance in those lonely, dark, full moon nights. That one was spared from the water. And this is the place where the fairies used to dance. In the past, don't ask me, they might be still coming here, and if you want we can wait until night, but I'm gonna go, I'm just gonna leave you here if you want to wait to see if they are gonna show up. But what we do know is that even though if the fairies are or are not dancing on the very island up there, this is a sacred and special place. And if you ever visit this place, do take this time to walk around or to travel with the boat to the island. And at that time, I'm sure you will remember this story. Never mess with the fairies. Anyway, it's a beautiful day in Bled Lake. I'm gonna leave you here. I hope you enjoyed this short walk. I'm going to leave you with some more views of the lake, of its beautiful little island, with the church of its fantastic castle up there on the cliffs. And I hope to see you again soon. Probably next time will be on a non-secret location in Ljubljana in the next week sometime. Until then, I wish you a beautiful weekend. Have some nice tea or a cup of coffee. And I hope to see you again soon. Take care. There's a view here.